Hey everyone, it's Joyel and welcome back to my channel. So for the last 30 days, I have been doing a Candida cleanse. If you've been with my channel, you guys know that for a few years now, I have been dealing with specifically an itchy scalp and a lot of food sensitivities. I think I filmed a video previously about how it was hard for me to eat because I am so sensitive to so many foods like avocado and bananas and kiwis and pears and dairy products, mustard seed, almonds, egg yolk, anything with gluten. And that had just started up randomly, maybe like 7 years ago. And then of course the itchy scalp with possibly seborrheic dermatitis, being super tired, always feeling fatigued. Like I nap like so much, it's like insane. So I started doing a little bit of research and I came across a couple videos talking about a Candida overgrowth. Probably like, what the heck is Candida? Candida overgrowth is a fungal infection caused by an imbalance of yeast in the body, and it can cause all kinds of issues, from the symptoms that I mentioned before: itchy scalp, food sensitivities, upset stomachs, fatigue, mood swings, and oral thrush is another huge symptom, yeast infections, and craving like sugary foods, sweets, so on and so forth. And a big contributor to that is by eating lots of sweets in general. The Candida feeds off of sweets. Pretty much everything that this stuff can cause is stuff that I've been dealing with. Basically like the white cast on the tongue that I can never seem to go away. I'm always craving sweets, I'm always tired, and I just feel awful. So I figured if I'm dealing with all these things and I'm interested to see how it affects my scalp as well, which is why I'm filming it for a YouTube video, I thought I would try a Candida cleanse. And typically what people will take is oil of oregano is what people will typically use as a Candida cleanse. So I went on Amazon and I actually bought the oil of oregano, but I also bought a specific cleanse and pill form that's for the Candida. And I bought the Dr. Bo Candy Cleanse, specifically their advanced premium formula. It's a 30-day treatment. You take 2 pills a day. And this video is me kind of documenting that process. So I have a couple of daily vlogs I'd like to show you guys at some of the more interesting points of this journey. So let's get started. Hey guys, so right now it is currently day 4, which is going to be the start of the vlogging of this whole process. As I mentioned, I'm doing a Candida cleanse, and the itching I had on day 1 is completely gone. But before I talk about where I'm at right now on day 4, let me go through the first 3 days with you since I didn't get those on camera. Day 1, I started on March 29th. About an hour after taking the first 2 pills, I already started to get some of the symptoms that people were talking about in their reviews. These are things like the body aches. I was getting like those cold chills where you're kind of like shivering a little bit. I also had some like kind of like tingling in my legs, like down my shins. But I also started to get the brain fog they were talking about. It almost kind of felt like a little bit high, like everything was kind of fuzzy. Immediately I started to get like a sore throat. I was starting to have like hot flashes in my face, and I was surprised that it started to work that quickly. You know, I really wasn't expecting anything to probably happen for a couple days, but for it to start an hour after taking the first pills, I was like, dang, okay, maybe I really do have a Candida overgrowth that I'm dealing with here. Because the things that I was dealing with, like the white tongue and the itchy scalp and the, fatigue, low energy, the sugar cravings, I was like, doing this Candida overgrowth cleanse was kind of like, see, I'm like so foggy brain, I can't even talk right now. I was just kind of taking this in the off chance that, maybe this is something I'm dealing with. I'm not really sure, so I'll take this and see what happens. And the fact that I'm already having such a reaction to it, I'm kind of like, okay, maybe that's what I'm dealing with. Tongue, still white, that's something I've dealt with for years now. It actually looked better this morning, so maybe something happened between then. I haven't noticed much of a change with the white tongue, but again, with having the intense reaction that I'm having right now, this is probably going to take a full month for me. Some of this info is going to be probably a little bit of TMI, but even the first day when I had a bowel movement, I did have some, I hate having to explain this is awful. I did have a little bit of that mucus that others have described in the reviews, and so far that's been the only time that I've had a bowel movement like that. Day 2 was not as bad. I had a sore throat, but for day 2 what I did differently is I took the pills at night. A bunch of people in the comments of the Amazon reviews, I'm so brain fogged, this is gonna be hard. So on day 1 I took the first 2 pills in the middle of the day, but on day 2 I actually waited to take the pills at night just before bed, which was actually recommended by people in the Amazon reviews as well. So for literally most of the day, I really didn't have any of the symptoms that I had on day 1. I did still have a bit of a sore throat, and I did end up having night sweats. I was really, really warm. When I woke up the morning of day 3, I noticed that like I was really sweaty, so I knew I had had some night sweats. But day 2 was like a breeze compared to day 1. However, on day 3, I decided I would try and take the pills again in the afternoon with food as directed. This is when things just went absolutely nuts for me yesterday. I had the worst sore throat. I mean, it's still a bit sore, but yesterday was the worst that it has been. I had a little bit of fatigue in the morning. I usually wake up around 6 a.m. to take my stepson to school. I can usually get up, and once I start going, I'm fine. But I just was like, my eyes were so droopy, and I just was having a hard time keeping my eyes open. So I did have a little more fatigue in the morning. And I also noticed this when I started to really cough. I was coughing a lot, almost like I had a chest cold. I only had one bowel movement with no mucus. Day 3 is when all the flu-like symptoms kind of like amplified times 1,000. My nose was so stuffy and runny. When I laid down last night, I was so miserable. It literally felt like I got hit by a truck. It was full-blown flu symptoms. The coughing, sinus congestion, just couldn't breathe through my nose like at all. I was literally like stuffing tissues up my nose and just mouth breathing all night. It got to a point where I actually had to get up and go take like NyQuil. Brought some cough drops with me. I had to take ibuprofen because the body aches were just like so intense, and I started to get a really bad migraine. Day 3 has been the worst so far. Now it's day 4. It's about, what time is it? It's about almost 11 a.m. I'm thinking I'm gonna just start taking these at night. I'm hoping that by taking them at night, I can kind of sleep through the majority of like the onslaught of these symptoms. But yeah, today is still very much, as you can tell, like my voice is so raspy because my throat is sore, I'm congested. I probably sound much more nasally than I usually do. I just feel really sluggish. This is supposedly all part of the die-off symptoms. Just in the first couple days, I'm already having really intense symptoms, so I'm pretty sure that what I have been dealing with has been a Candida overgrowth. I'm hoping that through all of this suffering that I will eventually have the relief of certain symptoms that I'm looking for, which is, no more itchy scalp, which by the way, my scalp has not itched since I've been taking these. So that's been the only positive sign I've had so far. I think the white tongue is probably going to take a while. Sugar cravings, I still have that. That's probably going to take a while. And then obviously the fatigue is here because I'm dealing with flu-like symptoms. In those Amazon reviews, I did see quite a few people that said that the symptoms got so bad for them that they just quit. But I also saw one where somebody actually went to their doctor and they were like, no, you have to like keep pushing through it. This is supposed to happen. It's a die-off. So, finish off the bottle. They kind of said you have to kind of walk through the flames in order to get to the destination when dealing with this cleanse. So I plan on continuing it. Obviously, I spent money on it. I'm not gonna just like throw it out at this point. But last night, I was debating like whether or not I really wanted to keep doing this because I feel awful. I was miserable. I get sick a lot. I've had the flu plenty of times, but this just feels very different. But I am going to finish it. I'll probably update about once or twice a week unless something really drastic happens. But this is the first 4 days. Let's see what happens. Alright, so today is day 6. Please excuse my nose. It is like totally red and dry from all the flu-like symptoms I've been dealing with, although I do feel better today. But today's day 6, and I realized that if I want to see if it's going to clear up my scalp, I should probably wash my hair, wash off any sulfurate that I have on my scalp and kind of see how it does. That's what I'm going to do today, but I'm going to show you, I am having this red spot. This is pretty common. So when I say I have like dry, scaly, red patches on my scalp, this is just one example. Let's see if I can get this of what I'm talking about. You can kind of see some of the dandruff in my hair, and then sometimes it'll appear along my forehead as well. Right now, this is the only spot that I have showing, but usually it'll be kind of like yellowy and crusty. It's red right now because I was scratching it before I realized what it was. And I wish I had thought of this before starting this, but I should have washed my hair before starting this. But we're only on day 6 out of like 30 total. So today I'm going to wash my hair and then continue to take notes and see if by the end of this, whether it starts to heal or if I continue to have scalp breakouts or if I stop itching altogether. And the plan is on day 30, kind of assess where I'm at with things. I may do this for another 30 days, as I've heard some people will do it for 2 months, and then I'll wait a month. So do the 30 days, see if I need to do it for another 30 days, then wait 30 days again without taking anything and see if my scalp continues to stay clear. Basically, I'm not going to be using sulfurate for a few months just to see what happens. And I'm not going to use Nizoral either because I need to see if this Candida is what is causing these scalp issues for me. Besides day 1, today was the first time I also had a full bowel movement. Today was like a full bowel movement and I felt amazing. I don't feel nearly as bloated. Like, let me lower this down to show you guys my tummy. Usually my stomach is like distended, like out to here. Like, it's crazy. It almost looks like I'm pregnant. But this is what like tummy is looking like. And I'm like trying to push it out. It's much more, it's relaxed, but it's tight. It's relaxed, but like I look cinched. But it almost feels like I finally got to like get cleaned out a little bit and I feel amazing. I've also started to notice that I'm not feeling as tired in the morning. So usually I wake up at 6 a.m., I feed the dogs, I take my stepson to school, and then I come back and I'll like knock out for another couple hours. And I haven't been tired enough to go back to sleep. So I think now that the flu-like symptoms are dying off, I'm actually feeling like I'm benefiting from having more energy. And yesterday, I'm not going to show you my tongue right now because I've just been kind of bed rotting. I haven't brushed my teeth yet today. But yesterday I brushed my tongue and it was so pink. I was literally in shock. I like couldn't stop staring at my tongue. And that's like the first time I've been able to like see my tongue like purely pink in honestly probably a few years. That was pretty crazy. So I'm excited that I'm starting to kind of see some results. So I'm gonna wash my hair and keep journaling and take things from there. Alright you guys, so today is day 19. Not a whole lot has happened, which is why I don't have a lot of vlog entries. Mostly anything drastic that was going to happen already happened within the first week. The only thing that I've really noticed, now that we're on day 19, we're about 12 days later from my last journal entry, is that like I feel way less bloated. That's the one thing I obviously noticed. And that I have like no food cravings. That's not to say like I don't get hungry. I just don't crave anything. I mostly just eat to avoid like the hunger pains and stuff, and like I still like food. I just don't have any extreme like cravings. Like there's no sugar cravings. The sugar cravings are basically gone, which is insane because I used to think about sugar all the time. Or even just like, ooh, I could really go for a burger, or like I could really want sushi today, or like I really want noodles. Like I don't have any of that. It's just kind of like, oh, you know, I feel hungry. Let me go find something to eat. When I used to think about food or crave something, whether sweet or salty or whatever, all the time. I used to think about it all the time, and I haven't had that feeling for, you know, a week and a half now. It's kind of weird actually. I'm not used to it. The other thing is we know that I washed my hair to see if this was going to help with my itchy scalp because of, you know, maybe it was due to the yeast overgrowth, but I've had some light itchiness just in general in like random spots on my scalp, and then I've had another sore spot at the front, which you guys know, like I deal with like seborrheic dermatitis, what could possibly be psoriasis, but I had kind of like a scabby dry patch that is now sore, and I've had 2 of those pop up. The second one just popped up a few days ago. So my scalp hasn't been insane, because usually if that happens, it'll happen like almost all along the whole front line of my hair. So I'm still having something happen, just not as bad. So I'm obviously still gonna not use sulfurate or my Nizoral and see if this continues to improve. But yeah, I'm definitely enjoying not being bloated, and it could be just because I'm ingesting less food in general. It almost feels like my appetite has gone down a bit too. again, could be due to not having cravings and thinking about food constantly. The other thing that I've noticed that like I really, really hate is that, and that the reviews also talked about, is you get like oregano burps after taking these. And you do, after I take these, I definitely notice that like I burp like a lot, and they're very oregano-y. And it didn't bother me at first, and now it's just annoying. The other thing I noticed is, at first I noticed an increase in energy, like nothing insane. It was just like, you know, I didn't have to take a nap. But since then, like I haven't noticed an increase of energy. I've actually noticed it kind of drop a bit. And it could be because 2 days ago, I just got back into my schoolwork. So maybe my brain is like kind of foggy. I'm just like have low energy due to that. But before that, like I haven't really noticed much of a increase in my energy. I went back to like taking naps or like sleeping in really late. So I don't really know what the deal is with that. The last thing that I've kind of noticed since day 6 is that my tongue doesn't seem, it's better than it was when I first started, but it doesn't seem to be getting any better. It is a bit more pink, you know, obviously after I, you know, brush my teeth and brush my tongue and stuff, but it doesn't seem to be getting any pinker. There's still some like white on there, which is, I mean, I'm on day 19. I still have like 11 more days of doing this, right? But it makes me think that maybe I'm gonna be one of those people that has to do this for another month. There were some people that did this for 2 months, not just 1. And there were some people who were like, they didn't change their diet at all. And some people changed their diet by really cutting out all sugars, all dairy, all like carbohydrates, and really stuck just kind of like meats, veggies, and fruit. And that helped further kill off the candida and really like helped with their symptoms. And I'm starting to think that maybe that's what I have to do. The sugar obviously has decreased because I don't have the cravings, but I'm thinking maybe I have to really go a bit harder with a full-on diet change to help all of the candida die off and see like an even better improvement in certain symptoms. So that's kind of where my brain is at. Again, if nothing happens within these next 10 days, I'll film like day 30 and just end it. But not a whole lot happened. Mostly everything happened within the first week that was worth like discussing. So yeah, this is the end of day 19, 11 more days to go. So I ended up not really filming the last week of this cleanse because nothing was happening, nothing changed. And now I'm about a month out from doing the cleanse. So kind of give you an idea of what it's been like to not only complete the cleanse, but also a month out from it. Unfortunately, I didn't experience a lot of relief for my scalp, and I didn't notice a big change in the white cast on my tongue because I had that kind of, in my opinion, extreme reaction to the Candida die-off. I know something happened. I know something was dying off. And again, I noticed that boost of energy like the first week, and then after that it was back to feeling fatigued. The biggest change though for me is the food sensitivity. I went from being like almost deathly intolerant of avocados, and now I can eat avocado no problem. Even my husband was like, oh my God, are you really gonna eat avocado right now? Because when I eat things that I have an intolerance for, so the avocado, the bananas, the pears, the kiwis, I'm sick for like 24 to 48 hours. I'm talking muscle cramps, like muscle pain. It almost feels like my muscles are cramping all over my body. I get vertigo, nausea, upset stomach, and like nothing helps it. I just have to basically lay in bed and like die. But that's honestly been the only major change that I've experienced. Now, for the white cast on the tongue, or what they call the oral thrush, the only thing that has helped me is using a Nano Hydroxyapatite toothpaste. I specifically use the Boka brand. I found it on Amazon and it tastes really good. It's the only thing that basically gives me a pink tongue until I like eat something. I do drink a lot of coffee with milk, which again, I have not been having any issues with, which has been really awesome. The white cast only seems to come back when I eat like dairy products. So besides that, the toothpaste has helped tenfold. What I'm thinking I want to do, and what I'm thinking would help with the Candida die-off, is I have to change my diet. So one of the things that I didn't do was changing my diet. And the reviews, I saw some people who did and some people who didn't. And I'm thinking I'm one of those people who might need to just completely change their diet. So cut out the dairy, cut out like any and all sugar. You know, if I drink coffee, maybe just with a little bit of sugar-free flavored syrup and black coffee, and that's like about it. So instead to cut out all carbs, so basically you just want to eat meat and vegetables. So I think I'm gonna try and repeat this with just the oil of oregano. I don't think I'm gonna buy another candy cleanse. I think I'm gonna start taking just pure oil of oregano with the diet change and kind of see how that works. I didn't want to start that like right after ending the Candi cleanse, because what you don't want to do is throw off your entire gut microbiome by like killing everything off. So now that I've done the cleanse, I haven't taken anything for a month, I think I'm gonna go ahead and be okay with starting oil of oregano. I have to do more research into just taking the oil of oregano because it can be pretty strong. I don't think you're supposed to take it more than like twice a week. But yeah, I'm hoping that by doing the diet change and doing this, that I can maybe then have some results with my scalp. But nah, my scalp was tore up. I completely went back to using the sulfurate. I actually just got the virgin hair fertilizer as well, because I feel like my hair has been feeling a little bit thinner lately, and I think it needs some help with some anti-breakage as well. So I've been mixing the sulfurate with the virgin hair fertilizer and using that on my scalp, and my scalp's back to feeling amazing. So unfortunately, the biggest reason that I was even doing the cleanse, I saw no relief from. However, I will say it was worth it just based off the food sensitivity thing. It's been nice to kind of like not have to panic whenever I eat something and wonder if I'm gonna have a reaction to it. So that has been super nice. It's actually was so effective that my husband wants to try taking it now too. If you do have an itchy scalp, I still suggest maybe trying a Candida cleanse. Maybe it'll work better for your scalp than it did mine. But again, I think that I'm gonna be one of those people that has to do like the major diet change. But with that said, I hope this was kind of interesting, kind of an adventure for me, and trying something completely different, and ended up with completely different results than I went in thinking I would have. If you guys have any suggestions, or if you've done a Candida cleanse and you have any tips for me, please leave that in the comments below. I'm super interested to read any advice that you guys may have for me. Or if there's a different cleanse that you guys recommend, I would love that. Or if you've just taken oil of oregano and what your experience has been with that, how often you took it, how much you took, that would be helpful as well. But again, thank you so much for watching. Keep blooming, and I'll see you guys in my next video.